GNP is there. Okay. So after GNP per capita, second indicator is there. So after a few years, what here? Due to some limitations. What is the limitations here? GNP means what here? So all the final goods, market value of all the final goods and services, like it is output. It is output. It is concentrating on physical output is there. That's why I mentioned. Yeah, GNP is ignoring distribution pattern, distribution pattern, consumption pattern, and also ignoring rising the poverty, rising the poverty. That is the reason after GNP and second important indicator, what here? GNP per capita income. So due to ignoring of GNP some issues, so per capita income is there. Per capita income is the better than, per capita income is good indicator than GNP. GNP is there. What is the per capita income? Per capita income means average income of a country, a person. Average income means per person income in a particular country is there. So how we can calculate per capita income? National income divided by total population will get the per capita income. That's why here per capita income is derived national income with the population of the country. That's why here per capita income leads to economic welfare of a country. Why? Because individually each and every person income is per capita income. That's why. So per capita income is one of the economic indicator of economic development is there. Okay. And comes to NNP, net national product. Net national product. What is the NNP here? Net national product means GNP minus depreciation. GNP minus depreciation will get the net national product is there. Same C plus I plus X minus M R minus P minus D. Depreciation is there. Depreciation means wearing and tearing charges like machinery and plants, whatever is there. So after few years of production process, their value, their use value is going to be decreasing. So that is the NNP is there. So NNP at factor cost, net national product at factor cost is the, it is also called national income is there. It is also called national income. NNP at factor cost is there. So that's why here NNP factor cost is the one of the indicator of economic development. And also here mention here, what here mention here, disease, the transformation from low income to higher income society. So economic development, when it is leading economic development here, earlier what we discussed now, this is GNP, GNP per capita income, NNP per capita income, personal income, disposable income. So these are all is there. So economic development leads to transformation from low income to higher income society is there, and also high complex phenomena like factors such as economical factors, social factors, and the cultural factors also is there, and also sustained and sustainable growth in per capita income is there. So diversification of the production, reduction of absolute poverty, and expanding economic opportunities for all citizens is there. So production diversification, so absolute poverty, relative poverty is there. What is absolute poverty here? So who are not getting the essential goods like food, shelter, cloth, okay, medical facility, so drinking water facility, these are all if not getting, it is absolute poverty is there. and also expanding economic opportunities for all citizens is there. And also economic development is a multi-dimensional process. It is changes in social structure, popular attitudes, national institutions, as well as acceleration of economic growth too. So that's why, yeah, economic development is a multi-dimensional process is there. And also economic development creates an environment, the environment in which all people can expand their capabilities and the opportunities can be enlarged for the both present and future generation also is there. So economic development is creating a environment that is all people can expand their capabilities, their efficiencies, their mindset, and the opportunities can be enlarged for both present and future generation is there. And we'll see indicators of economic development. Just now we discussed here GNP per capita, GN gross national product is there, and also per capita income also we discussed here. We'll see third one, PQLI, that is physical quality of life index is there. That is PQLI, physical quality of life index is there. So earlier two, PCI and GNP, they are concentrated on income perception or output perception. But so income perception, output perception, it is okay. But what about quality, physical quality of the life index? What is the, here mentioned the quality of the people, their basic needs of the people is compulsory is there. That's why PQLI is the one type of non-economic indicator is there, non-economic indicator. So what is the here non-economic indicator here? So here, like distribution between growth and distribution of income and wealth is there. The basically taken into account of the only country average output, total output is there. Therefore, economists have proposed that PQLI as an indicator of economic development. So it is a physical quality of life index. It is a composite measure of economic development is there. Composite measure of economic development is there. So in this PQLI, so each and every human being, their improvement of quality life, in terms of their life expectancy, in type of education, in type of healthy facilities. Okay, these are all PQLI is going to be concentrated. Has been developed by Morris and Morris in 1979. 1979, PQLI was explained here is there. So PQLI is consisting three factors. That is, we can say three indices. What is the three indices here mentioned? One is the literacy. Number two, life expectancy. Number three, it is the infant mortality rate is there. What here? Literacy rate, life expectancy, infant mortality rate is there. In these three is most important for in our competitive exam point of view, and also here in our exam point of view, PQLI, physical quality of life index, is one of the composite indicator, non-economic indicator. It was developed by Morris and Morris 1979 is there. It is consisting three indices. One is literacy rate, another one is life expectancy, and number three is that is infant mortality rate is there. Compulsory. So what here? First one, literacy rate. So more literacy, more quality life, it is leads to economic development is there. And also life expectancy, that is Jivana Pramanam, life expectancy for death. Some people is 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. So like that. So in India, so life expectancy is 68 years is there. So life expectancy is increasing 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, like that. It is the indicator of the economic development is there. And also infant mortality rate is there, IMR. Infant mortality rate is there. So infant mortality rate means what here? Infant mortality rate is here every thousand child below 5-year child, the death rate every 1,000 child, how many childs are they are dying below 5 years is there. that is infant mortality rate. If the infant mortality rate is decreasing, economic development is going to be indicating is there. Is the PQLI, physical quality of life index is there. And also HDI, that is human development index is there. So it is also most important here. So that's why United Nations Development Program UNDP introduced the HDI, the first human development report published in 1990. When initiated HDI? Who initiated HDI? UNDP, United Nations Development Program, was introduced in HDI in the 1990. In the first HDR report, Human Development Report is there. So who is the father of the HDI? The Mahbub, Professor Mahbub ul Haq. He was from Pakistan. He was the Pakistan. He is the father of the HDI. He is the initiated HDI, and also Amartya Sen also. Amartya Sen also here, one of the developer of the Human Development Index is there. So what here Human Development Index is main concentrating here. Most of the choices it needs to healthy and also educated. So okay, it is fine. Development Index. Another question also is there. HDI, Human Development Index is there. So it is also consisting three important indices. What is the three important indices? First one is life expectancy at birth. First what indices? Life expectancy at birth. Number two, education. That is education ratio, GER, gross enrollment ratio. Education, like adult literacy rate and GER, it comes to education. Number three, it is a living standard. It is per capita income, GDP, PPP, purchasing power parity. So Human Development Index is consisting three indices. Number one is life expectancy at birth. Life expectancy at birth means they are birth to up to the death. Life expectancy what is here there. Number two, that is education. That is adult education, and GER. What is the gross enrollment ratio is there? Enrollment ratio is there. Number three, living standard. That is the per capita GDP, purchasing power parity, PPP in dollars is there. So in these three is important here. PQLI and HDI. Number three, HPI. That is human, and also one of the important thing here, HDI. So HDI 1990 to till now they are giving ranks. So in 2025, HDR report, Human Development Report in HDI, that is India is the 138th place out of 193 countries. 130 place is there out of 193 countries is there. The that the India value, HDI value, it is I think 0.685 is there. The first country it is Iceland 0. South Sudan is the 0.388 value, HDI value is there. South Sudan is the 193 countries there. According to 2025 HDR report is there. India is 138th country is there. When we'll come to here HPI, that is Human Poverty Index is there. So in the Human Poverty Index, and also another index here, it is also introduced to UNDP has developed two alternatives indices, that is HPI in the 1997. Yes, sorry, is there. So HPI is based on the three main indices. What is the three main indices here? Percentage of people not expected to survive at the age of 40. At the age of 40, no one is depending on others. Number two, adult literacy rate. Number three, deprivation index based on three variables. Deprivation means what here? Poverty only. What is the three in here? Percentage of population without access safe drinking water. Number two, percentage of population access to health, and number three, percentage of underweight children below 5 years age. In these three, is comes to the deprivation index is there. It is comes under HPI is there. Number here number six, that is MPI. It is also most important. It is multi-dimensional poverty index is there. Multi-dimensional poverty index is there. So HPI could not identify specific individuals, households, or large group people as jointly deprived. So whatever HPI was lacking, that lacking was fulfilled by with the help of MPI is there. That's why to overcome this problem, UNDP first introduced the MPI in the HDR 2010. HPI is 1997, Human Poverty Index 1997. You will see one by one. PQLI, it is 19. What year PQLI here? Year 1979 PQLI. HDI is 1990. HPI is the year 1997, and the MPI is 2010 is there. That is a multi-dimensional poverty index is there. That's why, and also it is including 10 components, MPA components. That is the position of assets, that is nutritional food, child mortality rate, access to drinking water, access to sanitation, shelter, electricity, improved cooking oil, okay, and years of schooling, enrollment in schooling, okay. A person said to be multidimensional poverty poor, deprived to at least 2 to 6% of 8 indicators are least to 33% of these indicators is there. That's why these 10 indicators reflect the three dimensions of HDI, health, education, and standard of living is there. Whatever three 10 dimensions is, it is reflecting to HDI also is there. Number 7, basic needs approach of indicators of economic development. What is the basic needs here? So like here, food, cloth, shelter, access to essential public services such as safe drinking water, sanitation, health facility, education facility, public transport is all. What here? Basic needs approach is there. That's why development index must be terms to production of these goods and services for the meeting needs of the vast masses is there. So it is also basic needs approach is there. And also number 8, net economic welfare index. What here? William Northus, J.S. Tobin, they are formulated to the net economic welfare index is there. What is the welfare here? Who are the employees there? Whoever the worker is there. So during their work period, they are getting sufficient leisure time. They are getting good ventilation facility in the workplace. They are drinking. What here? They are drinking. Purified drinking water. Okay, these are all they can provide. It is the net welfare of index is there. That's why pollution, urbanization. Okay, and also development activities decrease the welfare of the people. According to this approach, increase in the welfare of the people indicates the economic development is there. And here GDI, that is gender development index is there. Gender related GDI means gender related development index is there. It is established in 1995. So GDI and GEM also gender empowerment index. So what here GDI is reflect to inequalities between the men and women in the development. So while the men and women developing inequalities is there, so they are concentrated. And also GEM, gender empowerment index is there. So in the gender empowerment index, some participation, female participation, political participation measured by the women, share in the parliament seats. And also economic participation measured by the share, high level, professional, management positions, like women are taking decisions on economic decisions in their home, any goods they are purchasing. The decision is on under men and women. It is the gender empowerment is there. Number three here, power overcome economic resources measured by the shares or annual incomes. If women have control over these three aspects, so they are treated as a empowered is there. What is here? Political participation, economic participation, and power over economic resources is there. In this three is there, women is gender empowerment is there. And finally, 11th indicator of economic development is it is social progress index is there. Social progress index is there. It is the SPI. SPI is the modern indicator of economic development. So it is the Professor Amartya Kumar Sen, and Douglas Northus, and Joseph Stiglitz. In these three economists are initiated social progress index. So it indicates non-economic factor such as socially environment factors rather than economic factors for assessing well-being of the society is there. So wellness, so equality, inclusion, sustainability, personal freedom, and safety, etc., are included in the social and environmental factors. That's why SPI, Social Progressive Index, is measured for social and environmental needs for the provided to the citizens in this their progress is there. That's why good social and environmental conditions indicates the development is there. That's why it combines indicates in three dimensions. That is the basic needs, foundation of well-being, and opportunities the show performance of the countries is there. So in this total 11 indicators of economic development is there. Then we'll see to in this unit 2 a summary. Economic development is a very important for all countries, especially underdeveloped countries and underdeveloped nations, where most of the world population is lives in this underdeveloped countries there. And also, economic development means what here? Transferring a low income economy to higher income economy with better living standard is there. And also, economic development includes not only growth in GNP but also institutional and technical progress is there. In these indicators of economic development helps to measure progress, understand different aspects of the development is there. HDI, HPI, MPI, GEI, GEM, SPI. So these are all indicators measuring. It measures to progress to the understand different aspects of the development is there. So it is the what here second unit to economic development is there. So then we will see to this one. What here? Unit 3. What is the unit 3 here? Underdevelopment and deprivations is there. Underdevelopment and deprivations is there. We'll see what here underdevelopment and deprivation here is there. So here we can see the objectives is we have to understand the underdevelopment and deprivation. After completion of this this lecture, we will understand the what is the underdevelopment and deprivation, and we know two characteristics of the underdeveloped countries, and analyze the factors that hinder development, explain the factors promoting economic development is there. So these are all objects we will get. So when we see introduction part of the underdevelopment and deprivations is there. What is the introduction here? According to Human Development Report, HDR is there now. HDR 1995. So more than 3/4 of the world people living in the developing countries. Exactly. So nearly 3/4 of the people developing countries, people living in the world developing countries only, but they are enjoy only 15% of the world income. 15% of the world income. What here? 75 population living in the world in underdeveloped countries, but only 15% income they are using, they are enjoying, while the richest 20% is there now. The richest 20% people sent have 80% of the global income is there. It is also most important aspects according to Human Development Report 1995. So 80% people is getting 15% of the income is enjoying, but 20% people is getting 85% of the income, global income is enjoying is there. So it is also one of the problem of the underdeveloped countries is there. So when we'll see in this large global income inequalities is existing here. So global income inequalities is existing. Why? Because so one country another country, their priorities, their their decisions is different. That's why large global income is inequalities existing here, and also many countries face poverty, illiteracy, malnutrition, and also diseases also is there. It is also most important here. Why? Because so whatever we are discussing underdeveloped countries, so underdeveloped countries are mass population is there. That's why they are suffering from poverty problem. They are lacking literacy, and also they are lacking malnutrition problem. They are suffering from diseases. So contagious diseases like cholera, malaria, TB, and tuberculosis, etc. is there. And also some economists studied development problems after World War II. So after World War II, some development problem is there. So that's why need to examine so economically and political conditions we have to study. That is the socially, economically, political conditions also we have to study is there. So when we see to concepts of the under development here, so it is a relative term. What here? Whatever underdeveloped countries is with low per capita income is there, is one thing, and also resources may exist but remain underutilized. So underdeveloped countries or developed countries both are having more natural resources, but underdeveloped countries having more resources, even though they are not utilizing properly. Lack of capital deficiency, lack of capital is there, so they are not discovering the resources. So and also it is measured by PCI, per capita income, and also industrial output, capital ratio, poverty. These are all underdeveloped countries is there. When we see to definitions of the underdeveloped countries, Bowyer and Yummy, low PCI and slow productive growth is there. Low per capita income and slow productive growth is there. And also Ragnar Nark's low capital relative to population or resources is there. What is the low capital here? More population is there. And Jacob Weiner, potential for higher living standards not realized is there. So potentiality of the higher living standards here not realizing here. And also Indian Planning Commission, Planning Commission under un, undernourished and human and natural resources. It means undernourished human and natural resources also is there. It means what here? Planning Commission, underdevelopment in state of coexistence and unutilized or underutilized human resources. And that's why unutilized natural resources in the economy is there. So underused human and natural resource also one of the definition here mentioned is there. And also come to here diversity of underdeveloped countries is there. Diversity. So obviously, so underdeveloped countries are in the global level is there. Like Asian, some countries are underdeveloped countries. African countries are some underdeveloped countries, and American countries, South America, North America, Latin America, and Europe. Okay, these are all countries are consisting. Some underdeveloped countries is there. So even though they are diversity is there, that's why you mentioned no single common feature for countries is there. So all the countries, what here? There is no single common feature is there. So one country characteristics, another country characteristics is different is there. That's why diversity is compulsory is there. So that's in terms of differences in population, in terms of differences in natural resources, in terms of differences in history, in terms of resources in institutions, in terms of differences in and heritage and culture. These are all diversities. That's why no single indicator explain underdevelopment is there. When we'll see Professor Hans Singer, stated that underdeveloped countries is like a what here? Gerifi. It means it is difficult to describe it, but it is can be identified very easily. Very easily. It is like a Gerifi. What here? giraffe, sorry, carefully, like a giraffe. So we can identify giraffe easily. That's why Professor Hans Singer stated that UDC is like a giraffe, while a giraffe, all spots are we are identifying. So in the same way, the underdeveloped countries also we have to find easily. It is difficult to describe, but it is can be identified very easily. But describing is very much problem is there. And also here, what are the concepts is there? Concepts of deprivation. What is the concepts of deprivation is there? So what is the deprivation? Deprivation is poverty. The word deprivation is literally means to deprive someone of something. Deprive someone or something. One person is depriving. One person is thrown into depression, thrown into deprivation. Means a poverty. That's why deprivation is entitlement failure. What is the entitlement failure here? A person is ability to command food or any commodity he wish to acquire or retain depends on the entitlement relation that govern position use to commodities in the society is there. Commodities in the society is there, and this is depends on. In this deprivation depends on first one what he owns and what exchange possibility he have. A person, what is given to the him free and what is taken away from him. Deprivation is depends on what he owns, what is consisting, what exchange possibilities he have, what exchange possibilities he is consisting, what is given to is free, him free, and what is taken away from him. So Amartya said, deprivation is the presence of unfreedoms, presence of unfreedoms. If reducing poverty, we are getting more essential goods, it is freedom is there. That's why Amartya Sen said, deprivation is the presence of unfreedom, unfreedoms is there. It occurs, lack of food, deprivation, how to occurring? Deprivation, poverty, lack of food, lack of clothing, shelter, water, education, and health is there. So that's why deprivation is occurred in this all food, lack of food, clothing, shelter, water, education, and health facilities is there. So what is the entitlement failure? Entitlement failure, it means deprivation of food and other essential things of life and poverty in the mildest penalty. Plenty is there, mildest of plenty is there. So when the whatever food, shelter, clothes, water, health, education is not provided, it is entitlement failure is there. That's why there are three main consequences of deprivation poverty. Poverty deprives the poor of market, credit, insurance, and labor is there. Poverty deprives the poor of the market, credit, insurance, and labor is there. When we see to poverty and malnutrition adversely affected by the capacity to the work also is there, and low income is responsible for low level of nutrition, and this reduces the capacity to work, and this diminishes earning also is there. In this three important things is there. When we'll see to characteristics of underdeveloped countries is there. Characteristics of underdeveloped countries. So most of the Latin American countries, Latin American, African, and Asian countries can be characterized to underdeveloped countries only is there. I said na, Latin America, African, Asian countries are can be characterized as a underdeveloped countries, UDCs, underdeveloped countries. So that's why low per capita income is a characteristics of underdeveloped countries is there. Per capita income is low, it is underdeveloped country. Per capita income is high, it is a developed country, like that is there. As for the definitions of the underdeveloped countries, countries with low PCI are underdeveloped or developing countries, but there are different among the UDCs, the term geographical area, population, income, resource endowment, okay, occupational structure, and external dependency, role of government in the economy, okay, economic inequalities, extent of poverty, historical background, political power structure. In this all, in the characteristics of the underdeveloped countries, particular country is underdeveloped or developing country. So differences is there, some other difference among the areas area, population, income, resource, endowment, occupation, etc. is there. However, the common characteristic feature of the underdeveloped countries are given here under low GNP and per capita GNP. Low GNP and per capita GNP. So here, so low GNP means gross national product is very low, per capita income is very low, is there. That's why there are large inequalities. There are large inequalities of the per capita income between UDCs and DCs. So underdeveloped countries and developed countries, so there is a large inequality between developed countries and underdeveloped countries in case of low GNP and per capita income is there. And also larger income inequalities and widespread poverty is their second characteristic feature here mentioned. So there are large inequalities in distribution of income and wealth of these inequalities. So India's inequalities are growing according to Organization of Economic and Cooperation, OECD is there. So here in the 2011, 100 rich people accounted 70% of GDP is there. So what is the low income inequalities and widespread of the poverty is there. So it is most important definition, most important proverb. Professor Kyron Cross. According to Professor Kyron Cross said that underdeveloped countries are slums of the world economy. It is most important proverb and also the definition of the underdeveloped country. It is the according to Professor Kyron Cross said that underdeveloped countries are slums of the world economy. Slums of the world economy is there. Number 3, predominance of agriculture sector with low productivity is there. So obviously, a large share of the labor in agriculture sector, 30 to 80% of the labor share depends on underdeveloped countries only is there. So underdeveloped countries, 30 to 80% of the people it depends on agriculture is there. Even though they are not producing more productivity, they are getting low productivity and subsistence farming only they are doing, subsistence farming only they are doing due to lack of technology, due to lack of capital. Okay, they are using outdated techniques like that is there. And also low marketable surplus also is there. That's why. So marketable surplus also very low. Like why? Because they are marketed surplus. Marketable surplus is there. Marketable surplus means what here? After their consumption, after their self-consumption, remaining whatever food grains are available, that food grains are selling to the market. That is the marketable surplus is there. That's why low marketable surplus also is there. It is a third indicator of economic development. Underdevelopment. So next, population pressure on land is there. Fourth indicator of underdeveloped countries. What is the first one here? High birth rates and rapid population growth is there. So underdeveloped countries, they are concentrating on more population. That's why high birth rates is there. And rapid population growth, population pressure on land is more high in the underdeveloped countries is there. So that's why population pressure on land is very high. That's why consumption is going to be increasing. Production is not there. That's why high deficiency ratio and unemployment also is there. Deficiency ratio means lack of available goods, and also unemployment ratio is there. And also greater pressure on food and housing and education. So pressure on food, they are producing less food items, but population is increasing. There is no housing, there is no education facilities. So it is a fourth important characteristic feature of the underdeveloped countries is there. And another thing is unemployment. It is most important here. So open unemployment in rural and urban areas is widespread in developing countries and is involuntary. So underdeveloped countries are suffering from unemployment. That is open unemployment. Open unemployment means what here? Each and everyone is involuntarily, not voluntarily. Involuntarily. Involuntarily means they are ready to work, but they are not getting employment on opportunity. It is involuntary is there, it is open unemployment is there. And also population pressure in agricultural land has been increasing, resulting in the problem of the disguised unemployment is there. It is most important. Disguised unemployment. Disguised unemployment we will see in the developing countries, more specifically agriculture sector. Why? Because population pressure on land is increasing, so each and every family members are 5 members, 6 members is there, but they don't have more land. They are having only little bit 1 acre of 2 acre of land is there. In that 1 acre and 2 acre of land, all the family members are working together. Why? Because they are not getting employment opportunity in the outside. That's why all the family members are working together. If one person we can remove in the agriculture activity, if one person, for example, one family 10 members is there, they have 2 acres of land is there, so they are daily going their agriculture land 10 members every day. So one day, okay, one day one person is not went due to some problem, so 9 members are went there, they are doing the agriculture work. So the production of the additional, who are the additional person is there, it is the zero is there. That's why the marginal productivity of labor is zero. That is the disguised unemployment is there. Disguised unemployment. ప్రచున్న నిరుద్యోగిత అంటే మనం ఒక్కరిని వాళ్ళని బయటకు తీసేసిన అంటే 10 మందిలో ఒక్కరు పనికి పోకపోయినా ఆ 9 మంది అంతే ఉత్పత్తి చేస్తారు అంటే 100 క్వింటాల్. So 10 members are producing 100 quintals. If one person is lacking, 9 members also producing 100 quintals of paddy only is there. That's why in the disguised unemployment, the marginal productivity is zero. The marginal productivity is zero is there. So come to seasonal unemployment is common. So during the season, during the raining season, during the peaks of harvesting agriculture sector, okay, that time they are getting employment. During the seeding time they are getting employment, so remaining time they are not getting unemployment. So they are seasonal, they are getting job. After completion of season they are not getting job is there. That is the seasonal unemployment is common. And also underemployment is also widespread is there. What here? Underemployment also widespread is there due to their job their based on their equal qualification job also not getting here in this employment status here. Why? Because underemployment is also found to developing countries. So laborer do not get full working hours. Some do not get the work that is suit their education and training. Some are unable to earn income sufficient to override poverty after the working for full hours also is there. Underemployment, so they are not getting, so based on their education qualifications is there, it is the unemployment is there. And also scarcity of capital is also most severe characteristic feature. So low savings, low investment due to widespread poverty. So savings not there. No, there is no saving, there is no investment. There is no investment, it is poverty is going to be expanding. Why? Because there is no employment opportunity. That's why funds are diverted to unproductive uses such as gold, jewelry, precious stones, idle inventories, luxuries, real estate, and money investments in the international markets, etc. It is called demonstration effect is there. So scarcity of capital. Capital is not available. If capital is available, that capital is where they are using unproductive process, not productive process is there due to demonstration effect is there. Dusanberry said, propended the demonstration effect. So you are buying jewelry, I also buying jewelry. You are buying gold, I also buying gold. All are buying gold. That's why gold, jewelry, precious stones, so idle inventories, luxuries, so real estate, money in investment in institutional markets like etc. is there. It is the capital problem is there. Hence, underdeveloped countries suffer from chronic capital deficiency is there. They don't have capital, they have only labor in hands. That's why they are producing labor intensive goods than capital intensive goods. So it leads to slow growth in the economy, lack of scarcity of capital. They are not providing infrastructure, they are not providing plants, machinery and all. Why? Because they don't have capital. They are using outdated techniques and old techniques only is there. And also technological backwardness is there. Technological backwardness. So old production methods they are using. Lack of research and development blamed for technical backwardness in these countries is there due to technological development is not there due to capital only is there. That's why illiteracy and the options of the skilled labor force are the other hurdles of the spread of the modern technology and the underdeveloped countries is there. So lack of illiteracy, lack of literacy, and also options of the skilled labor. That's why they are not using technological development is there. In this all, what here again? Capital deficiency hinder the process of the scrapping of the old techniques and installing the modern up-to-date techniques is there. But capital is most important here. That's why slow adoption of the modern technology is moving on. In the seventh one is there. Number 8 here. What is number 8 here? Here, economic dualism. What is economic dualism here? So modern sector coexistency with the traditional sector. Modern sector, whatever is there, it is coexists in the traditional sector, like high productivity, capital intensive in the modern sector. When with the traditional sector or substantial sector, low productivity and substancy is there. So Benjamin Higgins, one of the important economists, he coined the technical dualism. The technical dualism is proposed by Benjamin Higgins to explain labor employment problem is there. Labor employment problem is there. Number 9. Here, what here? It is here. Regional dualism is there. Regional dualism is there. In this regional dualism is also common characteristics of the UDCs. Means underdeveloped countries. Gunnar Myrdal, one of the most important economists, he have written famous book Asian Drama. Gunnar Myrdal used as an indicator of underdevelopment is regional dualism is there. So he stated that underdeveloped countries are characterized by large and increased gaps in the productivity and income among the major regions, and regional disintegration is the found to in UDCs is there. So regional dualism is compulsory is there. That is a regional dualism. Gunnar Myrdal here mentioned here. Number 9. Number 10. Unfavorable foreign trade is there. It is also most important, my dear student. Why? Because unfavorable foreign trade is there. Why? Because developed countries are too much on the export of primary products such as minerals, agricultural goods, less value-added goods, and neglect to the other sectors of the economy is there. Okay, so whatever developing countries and underdeveloped countries is there, they are too much depends on exports of the primary products only, not depends on manufacturing goods and service products. So that's why here one of the important problem, unfavorable foreign trade is there. That's why this performance of primary goods in exports gives to rise the 3 important consequences. What here? Exports do not show the rising trend. We are exporting more primary goods, but not getting more income. Okay, why? Because our primary product prices are very low in the foreign countries due to dumping, and also secular unfavorable terms of trade is there. Terms of trade is secular unfavorable is there, like trend is there. Number 3, gains in agriculture due to new technology also go in favor of the developed countries, because agriculture producers are at a disadvantage in the bargaining in the international market is there. So now agriculture goods we are producing agriculture farmers, but agriculture farmers are not getting, there is no bargaining power. So in case of tomatoes, in case of paddy, in case of maize, in case of green gums, red gums, whatever it is there, agriculture farmers are producing, but there is no bargaining power in the international market is there. Whatever prices are fixing, they are doing like that only is there. That's why unfavorable trade is there. Last but not least, that is social, cultural, and political characteristics is there, like illiteracy, lack of factors of mobility, downgrading manual labor, following old traditions and customs, joint family systems, caste and religious systems, vertical division of the society, colonial rule, laws, administrative setup, etc. are main features found in the UDCs, which are often not conducive, not conducive to economic development is there. Social aspects are the most important here. Literacy problem, lack of factors mobility, one fails to another place is there. So grading of manual labor is there. Old traditions, so methods, customs, rituals, joint family system, caste, religion, vertical division of the society, colonial rule, British rule, laws, administration. These are all problems there. Underdeveloped countries is there. So, and when we go to the concluding here, summary, the here development is requires removing poverty and deprivation is there. So when the development is required, when we what we required, we have to remove the poverty, we have to remove the deprivation. That time development is moving forward is there. If you want to remove the poverty, deprivation, increase the development, what here need to investment is there. We need investment. Need to develop the technology, provide the job, provide the education, provide the reforms. Reforms is there, economic reforms, education reforms, so trade reforms is there, and also balanced growth, improve living standards is there. Balanced growth is improve living standards is there. So my dear students, so this is the that is I think third unit. Third unit, what is third unit mentioned here? Underdevelopment and deprivation. In this underdeveloped deprivation, third unit, we have only completed one concept, that is characteristics of the developing underdeveloped countries. In our exam point of view, they will ask the 100% question: what is economic development? What are the characteristic features of the underdeveloped economies is there? So you have to write in this question is there. Dhanyawad. Namaskar to all.